Alright, so in the last section we talked about files, right? Reading files, creating a file, how to write to files, append, etc. And we basically got a very good understanding of how files work. Now this whole section is going to be about modules. Now we discussed modules quite briefly in our file section when we were talking about the OS module. But this whole section will now talk about many different modules that are in Python right now. So again, what are modules? Well, modules are libraries that hold functions. And what we can do is we can call those functions in our program. It's much easier to import modules and use their functions rather than creating our own functions, which will take up a lot of time, a lot of space, and a lot of code. So modules, right? The first module I want to discuss is the random module. So again, just like last time, you have to always use the import statement to get that module inside of your program. Now import random imports the random module. Now what do we want? Well, let's talk about the different functions there are in the random module. Alright, so the first function I want to talk about is the Randint function. Okay, so in every programming language that I've dealt with so far, at least the main ones, they always have some sort of random module in which you can generate a random number. For example, in Swift, it's arg4random. In Python, it's Randint. So the way this works is, for example, what I can do is I can say print, and then in the print I say random.randint. And all this says is, hey, I want to generate a random number between x and y. So right now it says you haven't specified anything. So let's go ahead and add the range. Where do we want a random number from? So let's do 0 to 100, okay? And we get 79. Let's go ahead and do this again. What do we get? 91, again 87, and it goes on. So what does this random.randint function do? It generates a random number, any random number between your initial value and your end value. So this was a very basic lecture on how the random.randint function works. And in the next lecture, using this knowledge and using our knowledge with if-else statements, we're going to create a very simple guessing game. See you then.